and welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity Continuum Aeon ASIYAH. We're back, baby!
Hey!
Back in the studio, tired from a LARP. I am your humble story guide, Scott. These are my awesome players. All of our pronouns and stuff are on screen and in the show notes. When last we left, our psionic freelancers, we were playing on the internet, but also they had finally received their assignment from their secret client, which turned out to be the Bang supergroup Blue Nebula, who apparently, in working with a juvenile Chin, want to bring Bang and through Bang cultural communication and collaboration between the peoples of Earth and Quinchusi.
They know the feet. They know the pieces fit, man.
They know the pieces fit.
That's right.
It is because the overall populace of the Kin people have been sort of siloed off. Access between the two, the Kin government does not allow a lot of access. Only a very select group of their people come to Earth, and humans are only allowed a very small amount of access when they're on the Kin homeworld. And apparently this young Kin juvenile who had made contact with Blue Nebula has decided that a revolution needs to happen. The people need to hear each other's art and experience each other's culture in a much less siloed way if there is actually to be long-term collaboration and harmony between the species. And so they have hired the crew of the ASIYAH to get to the Kin homeworld and deploy a sort of pre-recorded Bang performance that has been specially designed by collaboration between Blue Nebula and this Kin juvenile by the name of Bells Ringing in the Evening. That will hopefully entice the Kin juvenile population to demand that the barriers be broken and that actual communication can happen between the peoples.
And we're going to do it by throwing a really, really big party. Like a real big party.
Real big party.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys have been reviewing the cultural information about the Kin and their houses, how they raise their children, and found that there's like a short period, a couple of years, when the majority of the Kin population are let out of their houses and into kind of more of a communal boarding school kind of job fair environment, where they have the opportunity to talk to people from other houses, see if there might be a better fit. Most people end up in the house of either of their parents, but there is still an opportunity to break out and go to a completely different house. This is sort of the Kin's way of making that a possibility, and so that if it happens, it doesn't happen outside of the structure. Also, another issue that you guys have been dealing with is Damian and his brother. It turns out that something has happened within the FSA government, and Damian's brother has been incarcerated under military police, and is essentially, for best you can determine, being used as bait for Damian to do something stupid and make a pretext for arresting him, doing something to him, and it seems that they are willing to go pretty far to make this happen. So, we will return. You guys came back down through Portal, and you guys are back in your suite in Pearl City, having just sort of had a little break up in your spaceship to collate and learn some things, talk with Ship a bit, and also explore the hidden chamber in the ASIYAH with some very interesting artifacts. So, what are your guys' plan of attack? You have a meeting later with Bells Ringing in the Evening. What is everyone doing to sort of get ready for that or get ready to do something else?
I did mean to ask when we were going over, does the college job fair school thing actually have like a proper name in their society? That was one thing.
Yeah, it's the mixing waters.
The mixing waters. Okay. That's good to know.
They got cool names for everything.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and there are several of these places all over the home world. Some of them are more prestigious than others. Some of them have more backing from the others. There's, social stratification, that occurs.
Like some Squid Harry Potter over here.
Well, there might be a little bit of Squid Harry Potter going on. And Bells Ring in the Evening did include, like, here's the one that I have the most contact with, that we can probably get into the easiest and make the biggest impact that we possibly can with what we can do. So, yeah.
Do they have their own instruments, music, or I think
Yes.
I remember that wasn't.
Well,
Yes.
that was one of the things I think we were going to talk to them about, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I
we
mean,
were talking about
you,
Bring
you
some
do
back.
know, you do know that they have their own art and culture and music.
Okay.
There are houses dedicated in part or in whole to culture and music and art.
So I did change one of mine to learn an instrument. So
But from what you know of the Chin, they are. It would probably be some sort of BioWare living technology that would do, because everything they use is living. So what's everybody working on? What's the project?
I think I was gonna probably activate Nexus Surfing.
Oh boy!
To pull us in the right direction.
Alrighty. Someone wants to hand me the book so I can get the rules. I think it's 3 down.
3 down. There it is.
I had the books upstairs.
Ah, dang.
It's alright. So I need to bring them downstairs.
yep. Get myself some water.
Okay, you have to spend 4 side points.
Yep, and I got 3 successes.
Okay, 3 successes. Okay. Right. How are you at, like, what? How are you activating this power? Give me some
Gotcha.
input.
I mean, I'm gonna probably. I don't think he quite understands what he's doing at this particular
Mhm.
moment because he's never used it like this before. So it would probably start out in a quiet place in like his room in the suite, with focusing on like everything he's learned about the Chin homeworld thus far. And other than that, like that's about the most direction he was probably giving it, was trying to like
Mm-hmm.
further this particular goal, if nothing else. But he doesn't understand how it works very well yet.
So, you're trying to reach out. You've got. I'm not sure if you can have the distance on to reach the Chin home world.
Stellar.
I don't think you have. I don't think it's possible for you to reach the difference of the Kin home world. The proxies could barely reach Alpha Centauri during the Disropa.
Gotcha.
Those are proxies doing it. So you're kind of more. You're focused more on the solar system. You do see this kind of like crackling, sort of fractal path that gets very jarring and erratic. You get images of Damian's brother, soldiers, conflagration, and it all, like, the further you go down that path, the more embroiled and tightening the situation gets on you, and it has a sense of foreboding down there. Another path presents itself, heading out into the stars, leaving into unknown waters. It becomes a much more of a kind of an ocean-going experience, in contrast to the other. You feel like the solar winds and the interstellar currents leading you out to, and you just sort of you get much more sensate like impressions of this, of just excitement, possibility, but with this undercurrent of precariousness. Failure bringing consequences far beyond what you could hope to manage. And the third way, a darker path, much more shrouded, much more shadowed, out to the edges, out to where you sense that blip. Just the sounds of empty void, mechanical sounds in the dark, the crackling of strange energies, and a deep but quiet peril.
When you say that blip, are you talking about the Orc Cloud blip?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, there they are.
So you're spending your time doing that, looking into the future. What about Damian? What's Damian getting up to? He has got to receive a response from his father.
Trying to do literally anything to not to distract myself so that I'm not checking my phone every 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty to distract yourself here in Pearl City. Are you gonna like head out in the town, or
Probably for a bit, just to take a walk, clear my head, get food, not indulging in any substances or alcohol or anything, just trying to do literally anything to keep myself busy.
Okay. As you are heading out onto the street, it's not like you're getting mobbed, but you do see every now and then someone pointing a device at you, getting a picture of you. You kind of offhandedly detect what looks like a long range microphone being pointed your way, but no one's like coming up for like getting a statement or an interview. It seems like the tone of the attention that you were getting has shifted a little.
Oh boy. Gonna idly look myself up on local social media feed then.
Yeah, it's not that too hard. You bring up some information. A lot of it is still mostly positive. Scion on town. Going to bang shows, living it up. But at sort of the edges of the stories are always this notation of questions being asked of like, what's his purpose here? What are these rumors of complications with FSA government? Why his name? Why is his name showing up on watch lists? One of them talking about a conversation that he had about a contract to take out on essentially following you or getting more information about you. But the guy who was approached for that said, "I would never do such a thing unless there was a good reason to do so." And Damian has not shown any malfeasance worth doing that. So there is something of a very loose net starting to form around you in terms of interest and eyes on you.
Got it. Hate that. Yeah, I'm gonna have a very normal day.
Okay. Yeah, it is possible to have a very normal day.
It absolutely is possible to have a normal day. Just
What about Vega or Alex?
I would like to follow up with Shell about what was that recording. If Aeon has figured out anything of what Anime OK was trying to do, what was that recording and/or Crown? Did they find out concretely what they were doing? And also, if they'll tell me, well, what happened to them?
Okay. Yeah. How are you? Like, are you going into the chapter house? Are you giving them a call?
I just sent him a message.
Oh, you send them a message? Okay. Yeah, you send them a message. They get back to you within about maybe 20 minutes. And says, yeah, we're still looking into it, but it looked It looked pretty sketchy, but not outright dangerous. It would be far more dangerous if an aberrant were to have their hands on what they had. It may have helped them grab attention or do whatever it is that they thought they were doing with their show, but it was probably going to hurt them more than anything. It was more likely to hurt them than any. They've been able to do a full exit from Pearl City and are off in. They're going up to Luna to kind of take a break, recalibrate, find out where their next tour is going to be. So they're kind of going off the mainstream.
And the other thought, before Damian leaves, like, do you want me to look for your dad, see if I can find anything, just in case there's more things happening, or do you want me to leave it?
Leave it for right now, because if they're able to reach high enough to get my dad, we're fucked.
Fair enough.
I didn't know your dad was that high up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Learning new things.
I don't talk about it. I mean, I'm the family fucking disappointment.
No
Me
feeling.
too.
A bunch of black sheeps.
What about Vega? What are you getting up to?
I really want to do a deep dive into their music, but we're going to find more of that later so I can cross-reference it. So I guess in the meantime, I will learn more about bang music, that what I already have, and like, what instrument seems the easiest to learn?
Yeah.
I'm going to bang on my drum all day.
Give me a
It's
culture
always the
roll.
base.
Culture. All right. Yay. Thing I have nothing of.
You could go humanities if you wanted.
Nope. I got nothing like that. Why would you think that?
Oh my god. We're the best at this, everybody.
So good. Cunning?
Sure.
Oh, thank goodness. That is 2 successes.
2 successes. I mean, I'll say that you probably have something on your mini comp that helps you do these kind of searches, so I'll give you some enhancement for that.
Little WikiHow.
I had like a...
Yeah, in terms of like
It still exists somehow. Sorry.
easy instruments to learn,
Mm-hmm.
one of the more popular kind of in many ways it's kind of described as like the tambourine of it. It's a little bit more advanced than that.
It's got lasers on it.
It's an evolution of the theremin.
I knew.
That like
laser tambourine theremin thing.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
kind of a laser theremin tambourine kind of thing, where you just kind of have to like shake it and move your hands around, and there's a lot of like
Excellent.
SI assistance that can be applied to it to like make it work so that you're not fucking up the jam too much, but still contributing.
You're a rave kid with glow sticks, and you really needed something to do, so they invented this instrument for you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Excellent.
So you don't just stand there, just...
Sweet. Now I'm going to see if I can locate one to rent for a while.
Sure, yeah.
Because I'm not committed enough to buy one yet.
Yeah, easy enough. Yeah, you can go to a music store. There's plenty of music places, and get yourself a.
Roommates are gonna hate me.
It's called a Halo.
A Halo. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's my job. That's my current obsession at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely able to get your hands on that sort of thing and then start playing around with it. And it causes little blips and bloops and wobby noises. It's kind of a delightful, but it is something you give a child.
No.
Effectively.
Real life, I'm thinking of like when I got my first keyboard, and you could do like the wind noises.
Oh my god.
Very much like that. Anyway, yeah. So you guys you guys have your normal day. You pick up your instrument. you've do your Nexus surfing, and you've been trying to get in contact with people. But yeah, eventually it comes to be about mid-afternoon when you're supposed to go meet with Bellsring in the evening. You are directed to. It's definitely not a low rent area of town, but it's a much more out of the way, not in the hustle bustle, kind of like a quiet neighborhood. And there is sort of a biotech coral spire that is essentially his apartment building. And you are all directed to come to a specific apartment. Are you guys doing any sort of special preparation or anything that you guys want to have on hand for this meeting?
I don't think so. I mean, they seemed on the up and up.
All right,
Are you
cool.
bringing your halo?
How big is it?
It's roughly tambourine shaped and sized.
I will leave it at home for right now. I have to get good at it. Then I can break it out.
Gotcha.
I sent a quick message up to ship on our way out. Can you make sure our room is soundproofed?
Good call.
Thank you.
Yes, I will apply some soundproofing foam.
It's good for all of us.
Okay, yeah. So you guys head up to this apartment. Two things jump out of it first. It's actually fairly small. Like this is like a legitimately small one-bedroom apartment. But the interior of it is even more biotech than like it is normal. Most biotech is biotech, but it isn't in your face about it. It has an exterior to it that still kind of conforms to what humans are comfortable within. This, not so much.
Oh, boy.
Like it is like, there are living organs and like things that you can't quite understand the purpose of that are just everywhere
Your
in
lymph
this
fossils
cramped.
dripping.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it is a little hard. There are identifiable chairs, although they're not like they're kind of a combination of a beanbag and like an air bladder
That's fun.
that
Oh, boy.
Love
are
that.
arranged for you.
Gross.
Bells Ring in the Evening is there. They are wearing their chin biosuit. So it's a very sort of small, kind of stocky humanoid figure that is in pastels and has it doesn't hit the uncanny valley because it's not trying to be exactly human, but it is still human enough that you can read expressions on and have a conversation with it without like trying too hard to figure out it. It's actually a very artistically rendered, very functional suit.
They had one that appeared human last time,
Yes,
right?
the one.
Okay.
Yeah, you did see them. You did see this suit.
Right.
It was perfectly human looking, and then it changed to
Right.
be
biosuit,
more
right.
identifiable as a kin biosuit.
Right.
So one thing I forgot to do before, the one thing I do in preparation will be activating alertness, so that in
Okay.
case something, I don't know, comes to attack us for some reason while we're having this,
Yeah.
what seems like a normal meeting, but who knows?
Yeah. So she welcomes you all in, and she has like a plate of normal like seafood and fruit and whatnot. Very very nothing extruded from a hose or a nozzle or a shaft of some sort.
Well,
There's very
Real food.
earth food
I can
available.
fuck up some fruit.
And she says, "Welcome to my small abode. I have to be very conservative with my means, but what I have is yours for the taking." Did you find the cultural data interesting and enlightening?
Yeah, it was very
Very
interesting.
much so.
Good. I'm glad. There's much. We are much the same, but also much very different. I was hoping that you could get a more of a baseline to ask questions that I could hopefully enlighten you on. So please, if there are any questions that you have, it would be my delight to answer them for you.
Have you gone through the mixing waters yet yourself?
Yes, I have. My time during that was abnormal due to my parents' job. I did not complete the process because I wished to instead come with my parents to Earth. So I have essentially, in the eyes of my parents and the society as a whole, I have made my choice. I am with my parents' house. I have not officially joined, but it is considered a foregone conclusion. Although, depending on how this goes, I may not be allowed to join a house. I may be bringing great shame upon myself and my family. But I believe that even if that is what happens, that it is worth it.
Well, we kind of figured that would be the place to deploy.
Yes. I have many friends. It is upon North Continent. North Continent, Middle Shore, Mixing Waters establishment. There is one of the things that is less beautiful in human language.
Makes sense.
Because there's not an analogous concept.
Right.
It's from what I understand, it's a melding of many different things that is not quite any of them.
It does make a lot of sense, though. I kind of seems like something we could honestly use we have so many young people who have absolutely no idea what to do with themselves, and we don't, especially where we're all from, where it's like.
Well, from what I understand, many of your societies are provide for the needs of their people, even if they do not find something particularly productive to do with their lives.
And
Many of them do.
Many of them do. We are unfortunately from a very savage place.
Yes.
Yes. I have learned of the FSA. We did a tour once, which was enough.
I'm sure you got the full Potemkin.
I did enjoy New York. That was a lively place.
It is pretty cool.
Regardless,
anyway.
yes, questions.
Oh, so I take it there are concert houses, venues that can be arranged.
Yes, many.
Can we rely upon? Do you have people you can rely upon to set something like that up on their side?
Yes, I do have friends at the Mixing Waters, who once I get in contact with them, of course I'm not in direct contact with them right now. I did not form this plan there. I formed it and met Blue Nebula here. So I will have to be doing quite a bit of talking with my people and arranging things, and hopefully not doing so while gaining attention.
So transmitting this thing to your homeworld would basically be impossible.
Yes, no, we would have to go there. I understand that even at the extremes of psionic connection, even your most powerful cannot reach the homeworld in such a way.
I wish that weren't true. That would make this much easier. Anyway.
Regardless, from what I understand, your powers can be used off of memory and relocation. I have powerful memories of my home, although I understand that communication mind to mind can be very alien to those who are not used to it. I have been trying to become more palatable to the human mind.
Well, I would say that we have this group, because I'm part telepath also, and can do a small network. We are much more prepared.
She sends out something that you obviously notice as a mind share touch, but it follows a different mental format that you just don't quite process at the minute. But it's very much like a gesture of greeting and a hello on a deeper level.
Huh. So your people are naturally telepathic.
Yes.
Ah,
The vast
cool.
majority of us are telepathic. Some, she kind of her tint goes a little red around her cheeks. Some of us do have minor abilities in other modes, but by and large, we are a telepathic people.
Wow, that must make matters of the heart and lying to each other way harder.
Yes, we are an open society, but also a difficult one to navigate from time to time. Yes, telepathic communication is a it is the way most communication happens, and there are strict mores regarding autonomy and privacy, as well as honesty. But one can deceive while still being honest.
Don't I know it?
So, how do you see this going practically? I mean, are we supposed to be just ferrying this there to within the vicinity of your homeworld and somebody there we can do a handoff, or are we supposed to actually be down on the surface sticking out like human thumbs, helping to set this up?
Well, that is there are a number of possibilities that we can explore. I would rather go with people who are committed to the task than attempt to gain commitment on the ground. I would like to limit the exposure of my friends and allies on my home world to shame and criminal prosecution. Were I able to take this entirely on my own shoulders, I would do so. But I believe that what we don't have are your talents. Minor talents and other aptitudes, but we do not have electrokinesis. We do not have powerful clairsentience or vitakinetics. We certainly do not have any teleportation. That is far beyond any of us. So I believe that your talents alone will tip the scale. Now, it may be yet another crime, but I may be able to get into your hands biosuits designed to masquerade a human as a kin. It would be very big. We do have suits that are worn by our warriors and our bodyguards, that are quite imposing. I believe we might be able to get our hands.
You know, somehow I assumed that the biosuits weren't all worn all the time.
That is another thing that I was going to bring up. No, the biosuits are not worn all the time, and if you are to come to Chinsusi, you will see kin in their native form, and I wished to that not be the first time. Understand that this is very, very few humans have seen a native kin. Maybe some images, very few direct encounters. It is something that we as a people have a great reticence towards. And so I think it would be wise if you were to have a direct view of what a true Jin looks like.
If you're comfortable with that, certainly.
I am not, but I feel it is necessary. I ask, in the sincerest way that you can, I ask a promise of you all. Do not touch me. Do not harm me. Do not seek to know or see more than I showed you.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Fine with that.
She says, and she sort of sits down and leans back her head as her chest opens on a seam you didn't see before. And kind of a little platform rises up, and you see her. She is a bright teal, maybe about 3 foot long, with multiple. She's essentially a slug, but very bright, almost bioluminescence, but not quite. She has many different manipulator arms that are banded with bright purple and yellow in places. and she just sort of lifts up and sort of presents not her whole form to you, but you get a good idea. I need everyone to make a resolve empathy roll.
fuck.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There is a 1 point complication on this.
It's 2 dice. I was about to ask about Curly and I, but I guess we'll do this first.
No, this is very much your reaction. Actually, resolve or composure.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. One of those is much better than the
it's
other.
so bad.
Either would be appropriate.
Well, one of those gives me more than 2 dice, so I will take that.
How much complication did you say
apologize.
there was?
It's a
To the
1
rest
dot
of the group.
complication.
I'm going to apologize to the rest of the group in advance because this is one of my worst die pools.
Ooh.
It could be better for me.
Just one.
Just 1? Okay.
Just one.
Hey, that's 2.
That's
Yes,
2.
okay.
All right, my turn.
Oh no. I don't want to be rude.
Oh, okay, cool. 2. That's 2.
Awesome. Do you guys want to spend any momentum on enhancements?
I kind of do because
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude.
Go
Okay.
for it.
Yeah.
So let's each spend one so we don't act
Okay.
like giant dicks.
Yeah, you are able to sort of neutral face, like the two of you have to bite back some kind of reaction. You guys are able to hold it together.
I was already suspicious
Okay.
this was a trap to get some people who would be useful there, and now I also think she's poisonous.
Okay,
So that's
yeah,
why.
yeah. She, like those bright
Those bright
bands
colors.
Touch
really.
that.
Venom.
Yeah. But yeah, so she kind of like extends herself out a little bit and then very quickly kind of like putting on a robe, retracts back in and it closes back up and just says, "Thank you for your kindness. I know we are not the same on a physical level. We have an advantage. We see humans every day. But we are not the same. We are not alike."
This is going to make string instruments so much more difficult.
So how much activity? So okay, this might just be more of a biological question. More of the operations happen in the water, or do you guys do above?
We do, I suppose the term is amphibious,
Ah, okay. That's all right.
but our buildings are very low, and there is a lot of water on our home world.
So the expectation would, people don't just walk around in their suits most of the time, is what I would gather at.
There are other suits, other methods of conveyance. Our suits are us, either the ones that we wear here or the conveyances, maybe, or other thing. When I am inside, there is no difference. It is as though I have gained another body, and I wield it as naturally as possible. We have perfected this art long before meeting you, for our own purposes. But no, I believe, fortunately, you are very large, and so if we are to conceal you, we must conceal you in very large extensions.
So it would probably, although it does sound like autonomy being as important as it is, it might be very untoward to ask someone why they're wearing the suit they're wearing, I would imagine.
Or people might make assumptions.
People might make assumptions. They may. I will. I can do much to deflect questions, but an unusually large suit paired with suspicious activity may cause those tasked with security and maintenance of the culture to overcome etiquette.
Will you be with us?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, I will be with you. My part in this is I have a part to play. I am going to be the interface between this performance and the telepathic infrastructure, so that I can mediate the experience through myself and also empower the telepathic infrastructure to make sure that everyone is getting broadcast the right information and the right feeling. the artists of Blue Nebula are very powerful and powerful is not the word. They're talented. Talented is the word. They're very talented, and they have done a lot of research and time, and I have worked with them. But there will still be an edge to it, and I hope to be able to smooth that edge by when I feel my kind
Leading to
again.
react.
When I'm in direct contact with their mind, I can modulate things so that the experience is what it should be.
So, the Asher is genuinely looking at her with like he's doing the mental math like how forward would it be? But finally he's out with it's like, are you capable of a psionic link?
Yes, I can. Well, I can use what human psions you known as mindshare, but from what I understand, your abilities touch in different ways, and I do not think I am capable of entering into that degree of connection.
That would have changed things substantially
Make things a lot
because
easier.
I am a very, very, very large transmitter when I want to be.
I mean, we can pass through telepathy, if you wish. I understand that you did not wish to incorporate your own talents into the performance.
Now that I understand more of what it's for, I can't imagine it would be very difficult for me to pick it up. I've gotten very comfortable.
You would need to train.
Fair enough.
I understand. From what I understand, I can play an instrument here or there. I can contribute in my ways, but apparently there's definitely a technique to it, and Divanas, the Mosian performers, have some secrets that are not available to the rest of us. I believe Chomps mentioned that he had a Divana that he would get you in contact with if you wish to undergo the training.
Well, it really depends on time, on the amount of time we have here. I know, do we have a window where are we even allowed to go
No.
back? Okay, so we're going to have to find a way to get there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have
Illegally.
to find a way to get there. We don't have exactly per our contract, we don't have a time limit,
Right.
but obviously this isn't something that we want to push down the road terribly long either.
No,
Right.
But if we need to take the time to do preparation to ensure success,
I also, not to be rude, but we are talking about transmitting a lot of information somewhere far away that we're not allowed to. I will want to vet the performance materials.
Oh, of course, absolutely. And I believe your talents will be instrumental into getting into the system itself. I mean, there is a broadcast system at the Mixing Waters that I mean, we have I believe there, yes, an amphitheater would be the most appropriate term, as well as a broadcast system that goes out through the campus.
That's the right word,
Excellent,
I think.
excellent. Yes, through the campus. My mind jumped. Yes, I mean, getting there could be as simply as sharing with you my memories of the place.
yes.
And we could simply go. I would say within 2 months' time was when the bulk of those who I knew will be graduating, leaving the Mixing Waters.
Understood.
And I will still know some people there, but many will have come in from the younger generation who I do not know.
Okay, so that's a pretty reasonable amount of time to do what we got to do, especially if we're going to teleport.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're going to be able to catch a jump ship or anything.
No.
No,
No.
the
This
real
is-
choice would be, something we need to work on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be me going back to the old Long Rider days. I'm interested in this. I'm on board.
That'll be a good way to stretch
Yeah.
the legs a little bit, huh?
Yeah. I missed it.
Okay. And do you need? Would we be able to assist you with the suits as far as
I would
procure?
I would imagine your talents would probably have some use in acquiring or interacting with them. Um, we could either
So-
attempt to get one from the embassy in Luna, which has a full production factory, or we would have to acquire them there in the in the bioengineering house on the campus. They also have full facilities for
Could we?
creation.
Is your planet a place where we could live without them for that amount of time?
Oh no, you would need at the very
Yeah.
minimum some sort of environment suit.
Here's the problem.
Well, thankfully
It's
we
not-
have basic
that's-
ones.
Toxic, I think, but the I cannot breathe your air for for very long.
Probably a different mixture that wouldn't be very good for us.
Yeah, you could take some lungfuls, I believe, but it would be very difficult.
Oof. All right. Well, then I think it would probably be best for us to. I mean, Luna.
I can still get back and forth to Luna pretty easily.
That'd be pretty quick and easy, but we would be. I mean, we would definitely be just stealing these, correct? Like,
Yeah.
Yes, I mean we would probably have, and we would. I don't think they would have at either location. They would have what we need on hand. What I'm envisioning is some sort of transport, for lack of a better term. That would probably make the least raise the least eyebrows. They kind of like smooth over the kind of eyebrowish protrusions on their face that are not actual hairs. And so, yes, that's the phrase. That's the phrase. Yeah, something that you could be in either two of you at a time in one, so we could create two of them that you could live in. We would have to think.
That is definitely very big.
are there schematics for such things already? I mean, we.
Yes, there are. I mean, there are.
Okay.
There are. I guess the best way to put them in your terms would be transport beetles.
Sick.
That is what they would be. I've been trying to come up with some sort of pretense for such a thing, but it's hard. I'm not. To be dishonest on such a scale with my
It's
people
difficult.
would be difficult.
Well,
Perhaps, and she says, no offense, perhaps a bit of human chicanery can help me come up with an
Well,
idea.
well,
No,
I
no
was
offense
going-
taken.
Actually.
I
No
mean,
offense
I was
taken.
thinking delivery vehicles are usually found on our college campuses, so
Mm.
perhaps that could be our camouflage
Sure.
or maintenance.
I mean, did we want to steal them on this side or that side? That was my question. Because we're going to be in some real unfamiliar territory if we get them on that side. But we can definitely just put them on ASIYAH and take them with us on
Yeah.
this side.
It wouldn't be that difficult
So,
to acquire them.
So I guess my question is, how hard would it? We
Could
could
be retrofitted for us.
that.
Yes, we could make some so that the modifications would have to be environmental, so that you could exist comfortably, and sort of it will create an Earth normal environment within it, while allowing you to interact, probably via extenders or remote drones. We have some capacity to do so.
Not difficult.
And if need be, I believe. I mean, I've seen you are spacefarers, yes?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You probably have some sort of
We do have
environment
environmental
suit.
suits of our own.
Yeah, we keep them on under.
Yes,
Sometimes under the drip.
Yes, yes, those would be appropriate, and perhaps with some modification, they can be made to look more kin appropriate.
And we might need some
Okay.
practice
Can
in
also work.
coaching, moving about in them without looking terribly clumsy.
Yes.
Well, there is always Alex. How much tech would we need on aboard to actually build something for ourselves.
That's what I'm wondering.
Do we need how much biotech forging material equipment would we need?
Can I have a think about what we have versus what we would need to
Sure,
fabricate
yeah, give
something
me a
ourselves?
technology roll.
Yes.
Can I assist?
Sure. Yeah, you guys can do a teamwork action on it.
Look, it's just saying biotech. It seems
my
very good to have the electrokinetic and the
We
vitakinetic.
dumb.
Okay.
If someone wants to make an empathy roll.
I will.
God, don't make me do empathy.
Would,
I have
do
one
another one.
success.
Would a reverse engineering roll?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so
Empathy and
Probably wits or resolve.
I got 2 success and 2 to 2 enhancement then.
Okay.
All right, and I got one. So,
Okay, so that's
Add
another
yours.
enhancement.
Yep.
So that's 5.
Oh, empathy.
Okay. You think that there is something that she is avoiding saying, like an idea that she has that, like in isolation, might not be a thing, but given what else she's revealed, you feel that she is hesitant on letting go another of her people's secrets.
3 on my end.
Yeah, you pick up
same
kind of the
thing.
same
Okay.
thing.
in the mind share, there is something she's keeping from us, but I don't want to.
Absolutely, there is.
Should I press her? We're putting
We're
our
putting
ass-
our
we're putting our asses on the
We're
line.
putting our freedom on the line here for this.
That's true.
so
We could go
yeah.
to super biotech jail.
Are
Or
you-
be,
That's. I think that is like the least of our concerns.
Bells. May I call you Bells? Is that an okay?
You may call me Bells,
Moniker.
yes.
I get the feeling you're hesitating here a little bit, and I understand this is dangerous and insane. But if we're going to put ourselves in this much danger, we're going to need all cards on the table.
Give me a persuasion roll. There's a level 1 complication on this roll as well.
Actually, this best presence. I'm not trying to manipulate her here. Does she think I'm hot? No. For some reason,
for a weird monkey.
mechanically that matters. 4.
4? Okay, yeah. You say it to her in such a way that kind of gets past some of the, like, it persuades her, but also, like, gets past sort of, like, the alien nuance of it. And she says, I suppose if I am trusting you this far, then I should trust you with all the salient facts. Something that we do not talk about with humans because we believe it would make them very uncomfortable and perhaps even hostile. Some of our biotech could be considered to have a basic level of sentience, not sapience, but animal intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Very sophisticated, incredibly autonomous, but completely under our control. In our discussions on the matter, we believe that some humans may consider these beings to be engineered slaves.
I can understand why you would be hesitant.
But I could be perceived as being very naughty and have whipped up or had whipped up very human-looking like servitors in your bios, in an engineered, in a modified bio-environment suit.
If you want to...
I would be seen as very risque, not for doing it, but for creating one in human form.
Mm-hmm.
If that were to get back to Earth and your media and government, I think that would be horrible. Because, and I would not wish to do such a thing, because the
Right.
idea behind it is far too uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
but it
This
could
will probably
be.
generate some kind of press coverage, and who knows if that goes both ways. Yeah, media coverage, and who knows if that's going to go both ways. I understand why we might.
Speaking, the risque implication will be there one way or another at this
Yes,
point.
yes.
It's a bad idea, Bear.
Oh yes.
Hopefully there will be media coverage.
Oh, I meant more
Hopefully.
Earthside media coverage as well.
Yes.
Well,
'Cause-
Earthside media coverage. Hear me out. Earthside media coverage has no reason to leap to that because Earthside media coverage doesn't know this.
Earthside doesn't. Yes, there's no reporters there.
So
There are, but they're not outside of the embassy. They are
There
considered to
you
be
go.
very dangerous.
But things are obviously have a way of permeating even very, very vast borders. Obvious, given what we're
I'm
discussing
saying, though,
doing.
is that Earthside media reporting will not have any reason to think that we were such things. It might be a risque concept that is briefly entertained by your people on planet.
Well, I mean, I would present you as such.
Yes, obviously.
I think what Bell's was the reason I say it could be a bad look is, well, I could really see them saying they're creating false humans and enslaving them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if that were to get back to Earth, I could see that being a huge scandal. Let's leave that aside for now as a possibility, but I think
it would give you the most freedom and the best cover rather than
high
the idea of the
stuffing
beetles.
you in transport beetles.
Did we get anything with our 5 on trying to figure out if there's anything we can do with schematics on the ship?
That's the thing about kin biotech. It is similar in some ways to human biotech, but just they've been doing it for centuries.
They're way better at it.
They're way better at it. You would to get something believable, it would have to come out of what Bell's described as a factory beast. Which, like, as the conversation turns to that, Bell's kind of like, in a very moderated tone, describes to you a factory beast, and it is like an elephant-sized thing that you feed genetic patterns into. It literally gestates and then births new technology,
Rad.
ranging from like
That's
small
amazing.
little things to vehicle size biotech.
Awesome.
But it is real biological when it happens.
I would like
Let's
to,
put it at that.
and yet I'm like, I would like to see that. Like, I would weirdly like to see
really
that,
neat.
or do I? Will I regret that? I don't know.
I'd like to.
I find that fascinating.
So there's a factory beast on Luna.
Yes, there is one very, 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 very well guarded. We do not want humans seeing it.
Sure.
Okay, that makes,
Makes sense.
'Cause that
They
falls-
would be less guarded on the campus.
because it's more just a piece of utility.
Yeah, we have them I wouldn't say we have them everywhere, but there are several every major city cluster.
They're
Plus-
prevalent, no reason to keep them under such scrutiny.
Yeah, it's a technology that's accepted and known by your people, so
So how would access to to the factory beast work? Is that something that like everybody who is there as part of the campus has access to? Do you pay for time with it or resources?
Those who are on bioengineering, those who are studying bioengineering and would be moving into a house responsible for that would have free and easy access to it. Non-program access to it is a matter of favor trading. It's not that we're not supposed to have it, but we're not supposed to fuck around with it.
Sure.
yeah, that's fair.
It's a valuable resource that should be used for learning and production.
Oh, yeah.
Ancient computer labs.
Same in our tech departments in my school.
But I know several people in the bioengineering department that I could get access to.
Well, that seems like the way that would raise the least alarms.
Query, would those individuals that you can get access to be willing to print the kind of vehicle that we're discussing?
Yes.
Would you trust them with that?
There are There are some who I would trust to a certain extent. There are a
Sorry.
small few I would discuss with the actual details.
Oh, well, we don't need them to know anything. We just...
Just tell them it's part of the party.
If we can get eyes... Okay, so let's just assume we walk onto the home world without any... Other than our modified EV suits. If we can gain enough... We, between the two of us, could probably interface with the factory beast and get it to print or create whatever we want. At that point, it would mostly just be getting people to transport them to a safe place where we could get in them, and they wouldn't have to know. So that would be how I would handle if we're doing that way. Just so we don't have to be seen, and they just dropped a box at your door at a door. They don't need to, or a very large.
It'd be quite large.
They would have to walk a very large beetle to the door. But we can at least access that without, if we're on world or even in orbit, if we wish, access it without being seen.
We're not going to be able to easily get to their space is the problem. Like, that's part of why
Yeah,
I believe we're
they would
considering the
probably,
teleportation route. Am I correct?
they would
Yes,
probably
well,
notice. the
one way or
ASIYAH.
another, if we were to take a ship or directly onto the planet, you'd be using teleportation.
Yeah.
I don't think I could swing access to I don't think I could get us on a large jump ship, and I certainly don't think I could get on one of the newer, smaller ones.
No, we're going to be doing this entirely via teleportation.
Yeah, we can't even bring ASIYAH into the space. They would know.
Nope.
It's be too obvious.
Yeah.
Unless they, unless ASIYAH wants to engage some stealth mode I don't know about.
Guess we could've
Anyway,
asked.
I do, and she kind of indicates a corner of the room that has like her version of a maker. This is the most analogous technology to the factory beast. If you would like to interface with it
Yes,
to get familiar with
very much.
our forms.
Yes, please, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be in my bunk.
Can I join you on this? This looks
Yes.
cool.
Of course.
Look, I just care about the bio part. You can deal with the tech part.
You start playing with it. So it is 100% biological. Unlike most human biotech that has at least some sort of hard tech component in it, completely a living organism. And it's sort of built along the same idea that she talked about a factory beast, just on a much smaller scale. It gets fed a biological program, a biological schematic, gestates, and then births. And it doesn't make no bones about it.
Yeah, I asked her
And
to.
she hands you a couple of patterns.
Yep.
Like, here's a dish set. Here's a radio. And you're spending some time watching the process work, like feeling it out psionically, so you like understand how it functions.
Yep.
Alright, I got 5 successes on Krillian Eye.
Oh yeah, you watch the whole freaking process to it.
Okay.
Like this is
This is like what CRISPR wants to be.
yes, this is exactly what CRISPR wants to be.
Oh boy.
This is a fully biological, fully automated, custom life generator.
Dude. What are the schematics? Are they just kind of like an RNA chain or a DNA
Yeah,
chain?
they're like a little disc that has some jelly in it that just has like a big mass of different DNA
Proteins
equivalent
and-
proteins that it sort of slurps up. And then begins like the flash gestating process.
Yikes.
Awesome.
You would revolutionize things for us. I mean, just in general. I'm not going to steal your technology.
I mean, there are limits. Your biotech is capable of replicating your talents, of which we can only do a small portion of. It's very interesting. I know many bioengineers are really trying hard to figure out how your tech does what it does, and vice versa.
true.
Yes. Any other questions? Any other things that we can plan out?
Have the recordings of the performances that we're going to be bringing already been made? I would like to start vetting
They
them as soon as
are-
possible.
90% complete.
Wonderful.
Blue Nebula are nothing but if not perfectionists.
Would you prefer to give me the memories of those locations now or to wait?
We can connect our minds, and I can show you what I know.
Okay.
She's going to do a telepathy at you.
Oh boy.
Actually, I'm just gonna borrow this real fast. Come to me, Kinetic.
I'm not nervous at all, everybody.
Okay.
You feel kind of like you felt telepathy before,
Yeah.
and it's similar to that, but it is also there's a different quality to it. It is, whereas telepathy is like a new thought. Human telepathy is just like a new voice showing up in your head, like something that's clear and distinctly not you. This kind of rides in on a wave of unfamiliar images and emotions. The thoughts are patterned differently. It's almost like the closest analogy is a foreign language, but it's deeper than that. But you can feel her parsing it out in this very slow, regimented way that she's clearly very practiced at. So it starts off very alien and very incomprehensible, but it's almost like she starts with like this blot of color, and then she begins to shape and paint it in your mind, using like these delicate brushstrokes of thought. And slowly, an image of a balcony overlooking a large courtyard, several low buildings surrounding it, a river of slightly more viscous than you would expect water sort of flowing all over the floor, off the edge of the balcony, and sort of an outcropping above, and you begin to get senses of familiarity, senses of feeling safe, senses of home. This is a home. This is where I have laid my bed. This is where I have had meals. This is where I have met friends. This is where I have met lovers. This is a private place, a safe place, a place that is only mine if I so deem it. And you are able to hold an image of it in your head. Is that sufficient?
Yes. Yeah, that's sufficient.
Practical matters. What's gravity like there compared to here?
A little heavier.
Give me a rough percentage.
She pulls up her little mini comp and it says 1.2 G.
Oh, okay, wonderful. That's fine then. I'm assuming. Okay, so you're talking about us using an amphitheater as well as patching into a broadcast system. Are you picturing? Because here's what I'm imagining: is we get there, we immediately you gain access to this the maker. What was it called? The factory beast. You gain access to the factory beast and print us out a couple of beetles or 4 humanish servitors, depending on which we decide to go with there. Will the amphitheater be booked for something under some pretense, or will we have to break into that as well to take it over?
I think the path of least resistance would be to wait to find when something else is happening, something that will gather a large number of people and hijack the proceedings. That is my thought on it. If you find an easier or better way, then I think the less noise we make before we make a lot of noise, the better.
That is the way that will require at least finding other people willing to help with the subterfuge. Because otherwise we'd have to have somebody, setting up a false event, getting a crowd there, etc.
Too many discordancies.
We're going to have to interrupt somebody else's performance, so we're going to be catching heat the second that we begin. But we were already going to be doing that anyway. I
think, that's what I wanted to lead to next. Unless you really need I don't think it's part of our contract that we stick around to see how this goes.
Oh, no, I would expect you to leave as soon as the job is confirmed to be done. The aftermath is myself to manage and bear. Not to disparage your skills, I do not think that you would be adept at helping with the aftermath.
What is the aftermath for you?
What's the criminal system like?
Or are we...
It is not incarceration or punishment as you know it. It is ostracization. It is shame. It is demotion, in-house status, and privilege and opportunity.
Shunning.
Good old shunning. We know that one.
Not quite that. You still must serve your family. You still must serve your house. You must be a part of society. But my wings would be clipped.
The trust that was instilled in you
it would be a massive violation of trust that I am willing to bear so long as the change is wrought and my peers and those younger get a taste of what is here and what can be in the future.
This might be more for you, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Noetic template.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming the maker doesn't have one, and the factory beast probably would not.
It has one.
It does. Okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, it is a living creature.
Okay.
But it's
so
just,
a noetic
it's just
template is
bioengineered.
just like is just like a living creature.
Mm-hmm.
So like couldn't have one and
yeah.
Okay, because would it be possible to kind of start to try and make a little mini one, a mini maker? Like, I can adjust templates. I can.
I mean, what
take a mouse and just.
I'm like, yeah, just
guy.
What Bells has in their apartment is effectively that.
Okay.
Like, it is the same concept on a much smaller scale as a factory beast.
Okay.
You cannot create vehicles or anything. She says, I mean, if you're bringing this up to her,
just like, is there a way to somehow ask her a part to?
I mean, it is the same thing on a smaller scale. I mean, perhaps we could. Maybe we could use your talents to modify the pattern and the output, sort of melding your bioenvironment suit with our design to create the servitor shell.
Okay.
I don't think it is possible. There is no such pattern. We would have to create one, and I don't think I don't have the tools or access to the tools. I could get access to them, but we might be able to use your talents to jury rig on the fly something that will serve as a servitor shell for the four of you.
Okay. It's probably going to be an easier way to do it.
So we've talked about what the consequences for you are one way or the other. If we are discovered and detained at any point during this on your, what was it,
Kinchusi.
On Kinchusi, what would happen to us? We're not part of houses to be demoted.
No. Humans there has been incidences when humans found those assigned to the embassy. There have been at least one instance to my knowledge where humans who were not where they were supposed to be, where they were allowed to be, were killed in a tragic accident.
That's what I was assuming.
This is why we're
Espionage
not.
stuff.
This is why we're not depending on a ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
how many to getting us.
Oh,
Yes,
oh, yes.
I'm glad that you have an easy method of egress.
Yes.
We do not have. My house does not has never fully discovered the details of that incident. It was done at another house. Told us what happened. They went to the territory of another house, and we were told that they had what amounts to an industrial accident. I do not believe that is what happened.
Not in the slightest.
I
No.
believe they killed them because there are
They saw
some
something they weren't
houses,
supposed to see.
and there will be some in the mixing waters, members of houses that are not friendly to humans, are downright hostile.
I would just assume they never even realized we're there, but
Oh, that's what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
not. No one's gonna ever know.
We're hoping.
In fact, well, yes, that's if we're doing our jobs right, they won't know
Yeah.
we were there. I think our smartest bet would be to get a schedule of events. If you
Yes.
could procure the schedule of events and when they would. If
I
that's-
would have to go.
Okay, we'll have to go to get that schedule, but we need to be. Okay, so that complicates things because if
do you think
When
And
we go one way or another, you'll be able to move much more easily.
Much more
than we
easily,
will.
yes. She kind of leans over to a closet, a closet pod thing, and says, "I have another suit that does not look like me. Well, a conveyance.
Yes.
It looks like something like on the basic pattern of like a scooter."
Mhm.
That has a little pod that has like a clear protrusion, like and like that conceals like what she actually looks like. But like we use things like this to get around, and this is very different from the one I am known to use.
So realistically, at any point in time, I can get you there. And
Yes,
back.
yes. If you wish,
So-
if we could, if you wanted me to go and get things started,
Just for a schedule, just for us
yes,
to have
yes,
a timeline,
yes,
that
absolutely.
would
I
might
could
be
do
the
that. I
ideal.
could ask around. I could access our information network, and get access to that. Yes.
just so we're not surprised, I'm going to assume. So, you talked about having human-looking servitors, the biosuits or the conveyances that you use when you're in your planet. A lot of diversity, like we'll see
Yes,
people all
yes.
presenting in all manner of
Mhm.
well.
Some
forms.
it is I suppose a matter of fashion, a matter of the circumstance. Some instances it is appropriate to go unadorned in your true self. Others, all manner of conveyances and modifications are acceptable depending on the situation. Upon the mixing waters, it is chaos.
well,
I
there's a
hope it-
lot of self-expression that's going to be happening on a college campus.
I
As
hope
it
it
were.
won't be too difficult for us to know what is machines and what is suits with people in
It would
them.
be very unfortunate to
yes.
talk to a vending machine, wouldn't it?
It has happened on the embassy several
No.
times.
Oh, oof.
Yep. Well,
Ideally, we will be together, and I will
Yes.
moderate your experiences
Of
and
course.
speak for you if need be. I mean,
perhaps we can all be in a shared mind link.
yeah, yes, that would be most interesting. I imagine that even perhaps if we need to communicate or you need to communicate, a translation protocol can occur. And oh, look at my human looking servitors; they can even talk.
You should probably try.
I do not recommend initiating telepathic contact with anyone there.
Oh,
Anytime, they will find you out immediately.
It is definitely very different.
Then we
Yeah.
definitely need to practice that before we.
Yeah, I was
do
gonna say a
anything
mind
else.
link beforehand would
mind
probably.
link practice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Between us, not with us and anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the 5 of us.
Maybe even not that. A active telepathic circuit.
Oh, even if
may
we
be
are all in a link with
detectable.
you.
And it would
That's
it would
troublesome.
it would scream. It would be very evident that something is very wrong.
Ah.
It would be basically a visible tether between all your not very telepathic supposed to be servitors.
Yes.
Okay.
Imagine a group of foreign tourists shouting their own language in the middle of a church.
Okay.
Oh, they're not. The
Oh
links
boy.
are private?
They are private, but some are very adept at detecting when
I see.
when they are happening.
They're also they're private, but ours are still going to be a very different frequency
Brand.
or wavelength.
So even among each other. Interesting.
Yeah.
I would not advise it
Okay.
unless entirely necessary.
We'll keep it on lock.
Um,
Well, if we do everything right, we won't need it. So that's good.
Yes, I believe we can. Hopefully, we can come up with something that can speak in an understandable language that could sort of reverse translate amongst you, so that you can speak and be heard. Speaking very simple can. We'll have to try some experiments and things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But yes, I'm eager. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a bioengineering student myself, but I would love to see what you can do with your altering of a genetic pattern.
I am very, very interested in doing that.
So it sounds to me like we're going to need to make, at least you make a trip, perhaps you and you, or the 3 of us, to start working on those designs for our suits before the big event.
Yep.
Possibly another trip in between too for you to set things up with your people there.
Yes. She says. She kind of goes over to a little cabinet, and says, "Here are a couple of patterns that I think might be a good base
Okay.
for you to start tinkering with. These are basic servitors. If you want to try and merge your biosuit with these,
Okay.
so that they look and act correctly and speak in the way that servitors do, that might be a good thing. But I believe that if I'm to start gathering information, I should go home. Home. It's been a year or so.
It's not going to be unusual that you've just appeared out of nowhere, is it?
No. The place I have given is a private place for me.
Okay. Do you have? Well, obviously we're in kind of a, considering how far apart we're going to be, we're going to need to do this on time scale. So do you want to?
Yes, let's set up a schedule for a return.
Absolutely.
And you guys work it all out.
Yeah.
You guys,
Okay.
You guys she kind of she actually goes over to the maker and creates essentially like a synchronized time bubble thing that cracks in half, and keeps time that will stay across. Across. It's essentially like
An egg timer, but not like you think.
yeah, exactly what you think. More like a security fob.
Makes sense,
If
cool.
they're not connected, but they still have
They're
the same
synchronized, yeah.
synchronized system. And so she hands one to you, takes one for herself. She kind of goes behind a little curtain area, and you see some you hear some shuffling around, and then she kind of she comes out kind of concealed in her little scooter thing, and says, and you hear telepathically, ready to go.
All right.
Okay, so
Oh, boy.
this is going to be at a +3 difficulty from the normal +2 difficulty of the remembered connection.
Do you want me to try and juice you up before?
I don't know if that is
There's
actually really applicable
There's
to
no
what I'm
stats
doing.
here to juice,
No,
unfortunately.
this is pure
Okay.
psi.
Raw
Not for me,
psi.
yeah, it's
Ah,
raw
damn it!
psi.
I don't have empowerment yet,
No, it's,
which does allow me to give you sight.
yep,
can
it's
try and
raw
push.
psi for me.
You
Yeah.
can push.
Yeah, sure.
Why not give it a
that
shot?
Why
It's
not?
+1
Sure
psi
thing.
and how far away from you are it? I think you're just one, right?
I'm just one dot.
yeah, so
yeah.
+1 difficulty, +1 psi.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Yeah, pushing one level is usually pretty trivial.
Yep. So that is going to cost me 6 side points. And that's fine.
Whoa.
That's fine.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
That's
all
true.
good. All right, so that would be my highest level, 3, 4, 5, and then my psi level. Make sure I got that right.
Yeah, you have to. Your dice pool is going to be your psi plus the mode rating you have.
Yep. Okay.
Did you get an IAD?
An IUD?
IAD, not an.
I don't. IADs actually don't help if you're at 5.
Oh, is she at are you at Psi 5? Yeah, they don't
Yeah, I'm
have
at
that.
Psi 5.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
I read up on it. It's like, oh, they're only
Okay.
for people who aren't awesome like us.
All right. Yeah, I think the only other thing I have that might the upward focus, but probably not.
I think upward focus actually does help with that. Let me look at Prometheus Unbound. Yeah.
Or Prometheus Unbound.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me look that up because I actually think that does do that thing.
We're getting crazy here with
We
the
are.
audience.
We're gonna push it.
Oh.
Yes,
Boy.
you gain a +2 enhancement when attempting to use your powers at a higher dot rating than she possesses.
Oh, that's.
Oh,
Nice.
excellent.
Oh, that's
so you
a
get
really
the
good
+2
power.
enhancement. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
So useful.
2, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 with +2
That's it.
enhancement.
So you have 8 successes to burn.
Yep. So increased value on one category of the psi traits effect table. Increased psi pool is just 2 points. The category is a 3 point. Have time needed to recover psi points. Must increase psi to 6. And attunement range. What do you want?
Probably their psi rating if you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Like you're at 5, so you'd have to boost it to be able to boost it to 6.
Yeah. Must increase psi to 6. So that's.
Just 2 dots.
Let me take.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you look at that just to make
Yeah.
sure I'm reading it correctly because it's.
It's basically saying that you have to boost it to 6 before you can use the other one.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, so you have to spend 3 per dot. So you have to spend 3 successes to boost his psi rating up to 6.
Yep. Okay.
And then, yeah, the rest is gravy.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
you have the successes for it. So
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
you had 8. You could boost it to 7.
7. Yeah. You want to be Super Hulk?
Yeah, again, let me be Super Hulk for like 3 seconds.
Let's do
Oh,
that.
The portals.
We can actually also do some very silly stuff with your ability to boost attunement range because my attunement range is already 10 million kilometers. So it can get way stupider
Yeah.
if we want.
Oh yeah, because it's one per dot for attunement range.
And that's times 10 every time.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Holy
Have
fuck,
size
y'all,
7.
How many die am I rolling right now?
So 7 plus 5, I believe.
Yeah.
Not a pool one sees very often in this system.
Nope.
No.
You
Nope.
do not get any enhancement because you are no longer psionically dysfunctioned.
Correct. I am no longer psionically dysfunctioned, everybody.
We did it!
Well, I
Our
feel
boy
very,
did it!
very normal, which is weird in and of itself. So after you blammo me, oh, that's very weird. Okay.
But you can.
Yup.
At which point, having no idea you were capable of that or a Vitakinetic was all, you can just do that?
I mean, it's not an easy thing, but
I
yeah.
have little itty bitty hands, everybody, so I can only roll some of these dice at once. So that's 2.
It's like
Already.
you're playing Exalted
Oh
over
boy.
here.
Yeah.
I know.
3. Oh boy.
Psychic
Come on,
Space
baby.
Exalts.
Please don't have to had somebody do all of this for nothing.
4, 5, 6.
6.
There we go. So you try and sync up your own understanding of space-time with this alien painting that has been put in your head that does not entirely make sense for how you understand people relate to places and feelings and objects that normally forges a psionic connection for you to open a portal to. You have to, but you are pushing a much bigger engine at this than you normally do. The difference between Psi 5, Psi 6, and especially Psi 7, like, you're, like, this must be something what the proxies feel.
I actually
don't
do have a mechanical question.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. It was But when it gets boosted above that, do you also get
They
the
do
target
not
number
go,
drop?
They do not go to tier. They do not go up a tier.
Okay, that would be crazy.
No, you cannot.
my-
You cannot become a legitimate proxy tier. You
No,
just.
I'm not a proxy
No.
right now.
You just have the engine.
Just have a little
Yep.
whiff. Just
Yeah.
a little,
Very
little
cool.
taste.
No, you need to actually spend the XP. And if that's not the rule, I'm making it so because that's dumb. But yeah, so you forge a link, and it's not like it's a different kind of space-time. It's just a different relationship to space and time. But you power through it, and you make it make sense. And a portal forms between Earth and this private apartment on the Kin homeworld. And the little scooter thing kind of like bounces. Like, that's very neat. I like that. And it sort of putters its way
Wait,
through.
before you go,
Yeah.
just to make this easier in the future. Since we all know Damian keeps those little tokens. of
Yeah.
his.
I was gonna steal one from out of your pocket and
And like you
toss it through.
kind of hang it on a little protuberance. It's like, okay,
Leave that there.
Will
I'll
do.
be able to reach it much easier.
I will hide it.
Thank you.
And yeah,
This is so cool.
like you guys like feel kind of like the alien
We're all
atmosphere.
like peeking.
Like smells very strange, very, very, very organic.
So
Well,
briny.
Very, very briny, very musky. Even those words don't exactly describe it. It's not that great.
I mean, I imagine it smells something like the underside of a dock, honestly.
Yeah,
a
it might be
little bit.
that might be the closest analog. But she putters through in her little scooter conveyance self,
Adorable.
and the portal closes behind her. And that is where we're going to end things for this episode of Training Continuum, Aeon ASIYAH.
Fuck yeah.
They're biggin'.
Yeah, y'all. When you get access to that power, you can do some shit. All right, so thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you guys for watching. If you would like to support the show and the channel, go to patreon.com/SimulacraStudios and become a patron. You get access to our Discord where you can chat with me, them, everybody who's been on one of these things, and maybe even get a chance to roleplay out with us with early access to casting calls. Please check the show notes to check what our cast is doing with their lives. We may not know that, but we can come up with something for you to enjoy.
I
We'll
never
make
know.
some shit up.
We'll
It'll be
make some
fun.
shit up. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week.